Welcome back.
He's back. He's returned.
It's been a while since we've had you in the show. Series, episode. I don't know. So no Durham today. I thought it'd be a good chance for us to talk about our new internship intake coming up soon. We've got interview process coming up.
Yep.
Good chance for us to talk about what we did right and what we did wrong.
Yeah. Well, we took two different paths.
Yeah.
The internship, but then merged in the middle and pushed ahead. So.
Kick us off. Talk about your experience.
So, I'll talk about my interview, I think, first. I had no idea what I was walking into. I just received an email from Core Advantage to do some work experience with them for my degree. And went in, met with Rob, who used to work here. And
were you second year deacon?
Yeah, second year deacon. And end of my second year. And met with Rob, had an interview, thought it went great. And then it was a really hot day, and then received a call and it was welcomed aboard. Went in not knowing a lot. I remember after my first day after the intensive, I was in the car home and I called my dad and was like, "This is what I want to do." Like I was just like, I didn't know anything, and just from that one day, I really had my eyes open to what was out there and what S&C looks like in the real world.
Yeah, I was the same. My interview was also on a really hot day.
It was a small office as well back at Bodywell.
It's seriously like the size of two of these desks put together. It's minuscule. And so it was in there, me, Rob, and Durham was into my interview as well. And the three of us were in this office, and it was about 400 degrees, it felt like. And I was in there just dripping with sweat. Yeah. And I interviewed terribly. And they asked me these questions, and I was like, sort of, instead of being this is what I think, or I'm not sure, I don't know this answer, it was just, I was going with like, this is how I feel, this is how you should do it. Yeah. If I was me, I would run your business this way. Like I went in and I was this 21-year-old upstart trying to tell them how they should do their thing better, and John's been doing it for 15 years. It was like,
it was this kid. So I was the other end. I spent a lot of time saying, I don't know, but I really want to find out now. And I think that's what got me across the line.
Yeah. That curiosity. Yeah. And so we both got into the internship, obviously. I was in the very first intake. Were you the next semester?
Second.
Yeah, so you were straight after me. And so we both had the lucky fortune of being in small cohorts. Mm-hmm. So we got to spend a lot of time asking a lot of questions. And
I had 5, you had 4.
4 in mine, Yep. And so it's still reasonably small. We only had 10 this semester.
And that's what we're pushing for, to keep that attention to detail.
Smaller groups allow us to sort of mentor more closely, which is nice. But talk about during the internship, because your development was so linear.
Slow and steady.
And so talk about that.
Like I said, I came in not knowing a whole lot, and so my personality, I'm naturally introverted until I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I feel like I have more of an authority to speak. Yeah. And so the first...
Speak only when you need to.
Yeah, to use my words wisely. The first 10 weeks of the internship, I was just a quiet little dormouse, just shadowing Durham around. I think he got a little bit annoyed. But then as I started to learn and just soak up as much as I could, and buying all the books and reading all the blogs and listening to all the podcasts and things like that, I just found my voice more and more, and just week after week after week, I just worked on the floor more and more and became more and more of a coach, until it hit a point where I went from who's this quiet kid that's never going to go anywhere to this guy, if he continues to improve at this rate, then he's going to actually be a better coach.
Which you have, and now, what are you, 3 years in? 2.5 years in?
Yeah, 3, just coming up on 3, yeah.
Full time, doing the majority of our programming and initial consult load.
Yeah, it's just chipping away at it, and that curiosity and desire just to be better at what you do, not to settle for just doing a job, just do it properly. Yeah,
it's cool. I suppose if I think back to mine, which was, I suppose, 3, and if yours was 2.5 years, mine was 3 years ago. Mine was kind of the opposite. I went in thinking I was ready to be hired on day one. I was like, I'm going to show them how to do it.
I'll be working with an elite sports team in a couple months.
I'm going to be the man. And so got in there. Thankfully, again, thank you, Durham and Rob. They let me into the internship, and again, I was probably lucky that it was the first. I would probably have bummed out in the current lot of
the quality is just getting higher and higher. It's a lot higher. Like I look at the applications today, and I look at my old resume. I'm like, I wouldn't let that guy in. My
resume plus my interview, there's no way I would get in now. So, fortune of timing and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But once I was in, it was like same thing. It was like, instead of like you thought you were like, oh my god, this is what I want to do. I was like, I knew this is what I wanted to do before I started, but then I got in and realized how little I actually did know. I thought I knew so much, but it was like, oh, I don't. I know all the wrong stuff and I don't know it to the level of depth I thought. Uni does a great job, and bodybuilding.com and Teen Nation do a great job of giving you a nice general overview of everything.
Yeah.
But that has no ability to create traction with athletes or to create results or to go where you need to do. So the depth of knowledge, I thought I had a depth of knowledge, but it turns out I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then that first, I'm still doing it. I'm still eating so much humble pie about things I thought I knew. It's like, no, back to square one. Back to start with why, root cause analysis.
I think the reason we're both here now is because we don't try and wrestle with that. I was wrong. Okay, I can be better. Tomorrow I'll be better. And it's just moving on and not holding on to that bias.
Being set in your ways is such a toxic thing.
It's
It's the fastest way to piss off potential mentors.
Yep.
And I think, and speak for yourself if you like, but I think the reason we did well and grew so well in the internship was we were willing to go, oh yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, my bad, made a mistake, and then not make that mistake again. Learn from that mistake.
That's the big one.
Implement that correction, take the feedback, and be like looking for feedback. Like, Durham had to go, did I do that right? Did I do that better? And Durham was, this is going to be a Durham love fest today, but he's such a good mentor and did such a good job of fostering us along. And like, Jacob, you're being too pushy, or you're too loud, or you're too in everyone's face, you need to chill out, or James, you need to step it up and use your voice more, or all these little things, and you're like, it's not criticism, it's feedback, it's help, it's pushing you in the right direction, it's trying to help make you a better coach and make you a better human. And I think
there's a line there though, because we've had plenty of past interns that love asking for feedback, and you give them all the feedback in the world, and you give them all the time, and you have chats with them and things like that, and the next week they do the same thing. It's just like, well,
you've got to implement.
You have to implement. You have to show you improve it through action, not just asking lots of questions.
Was the Gandhi quote? Actions express intentions.
Yeah, there you
Or
go.
priorities. Actions express priorities. That's so true.
I think that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah. So this is more of an intern delivered random thoughts. What do you think some of the key takeaways for people who are not just in sports science, but in any field, who are either looking to change jobs or starting in a new area, or even who are near the top but are always looking to progress and to be better and to push? What do you think some key takeaways are?
It's that passion, that desire just to, have pride in your work.
Yeah, you've got to love what you do, and you've got to be, I want to be world leading, or I want to be best in my suburb, or best in whatever it is I do. Yeah.
Well, I'll give props to my dad for this one. If you do a job, you do it well. Like, if you finish the job, you don't half-ass it. You finish it.
Same for my dad.
Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. You've got to have pride in the work, and then it's just a curiosity. It's just, I'm passionate about S&C because I find it really interesting. I find a new blog with new information. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to dig into that. Yeah, and how can I put that into my work? And it's just that drive and curiosity to be better every day.
And then find good mentors. So Durham and Corey Vange have been a blessing for both of our lives. It's literally transformed. I now spend more time here than I do anywhere else, and consumes a lot of our thoughts. But having good mentors and being surrounded by positive influences, whether it's in your personal life, family, friends, all that sort of stuff, or in your work life, being surrounded by positive employees who helping you strive for being better, and then good bosses and good mentors, like people like Durham, I keep saying his name. But that's sort of a network, someone who's willing to tell you you've got a booger. It's like, Jacob, you've got this verbal tick, or you do this thing wrong, you need to tidy that up. That's not gonna help you progress. And it's like, oh yeah, thank you for that.
I remember one of the big turning points of my internship, I was spotting a bench press, and textbook spot, like everything was really good. I finished the spot, like athlete was happy. Darren came up to me and said, James, that was a perfect spot, but it was just crap coaching, because I just wasn't saying anything. I went home.
Silently spotting.
Yeah, I went home and I'm like, I thought it was going to change. That came in the next session, and I took that feedback and I thought about it, and I read up on coaching, like what makes a good coach and things like that, and I came to the next session, and I don't think Darren remembered saying it to me, but I really took it in, even if it wasn't intended feedback from him. It was it's advice that I took on board and used. Yeah.
Be curious, care about what you do, and then embrace feedback.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing you can do, not just in career, but in life. If you can be comfortable accepting feedback, comfortable giving feedback, you're going to go a long way.
Absolutely. Yeah.